Niyati Rao, food has always been an opportunity to tell stories of the past, of her travels, and of the places in India which don't get as much recognition as they should. At Ekaa, her vision earned them a spot among Asia's 50 best restaurants, and now with her new venture, Bombay Daak, she's bringing India's Daaru-Chakna culture to Mumbai. Today she's here with Times Now Foodie to tell us more about her journey and what inspires her as a chef. Hi Niyati.
Hi.
Thanks so much for being here.
Hi Shireen.
We'd like to just start with what inspires you to create? What are the ideas that go into creating a new restaurant concept?
I think very frankly, it's a different thrill for me to do what has never been done before. And as you rightly put, I think really bringing the concepts to light which haven't garnered that much attention before is, I think, and doing them my way, or I think Nisa's way, is what all of us in the company find our thrill in.
So when it comes to Bombay Daak, what was the inspiration behind the name and the concept? Where did it all spring from?
So Bombay Daak is a elevated Daaru-Chakna bar, and with the name, I had read a story or a document wherein the fish bombil was the original chakna of Bombay, which the coolies used to have. The British loved it so much that they took it to the capital city of Calcutta, but they took it via a train called the Calcutta Daak. And because they couldn't say bombil, they named the fish Bombay Daak, which was named after the Bombay or the Kolkata Daak. Daak means mail, and that is what usually connects people over India. And it's the whole name for us is just a metaphor of going all over the country and getting everything back to its headquarters.
How was the process of curating this place different from how you went about curating Ekaa?
So I think some of the key core principles are always going to remain the same, wherein we are extremely inspired by stories and people. We are extremely aware of what is happening around us, what has happened in the past around us. So I think those things always stay the same. But the things which were different was, I think, the approach this time, wherein with Ekaa we wanted to do almost like a less is more sort of an equation, wherein people would keep seeing the plate, and that's why when you go to see Ekaa, even interior wise, less is done, and the most colorful thing are actually the dishes. Whereas I think in Bombay Daak the approach is found more in the stories of the people who we interviewed, wherein, having said that, it's all about the people, because without them it would be quite impossible at Bombay Daak. And when you think of the Daaru-Chakna culture, Ekaa is different because it is not based on a particular cuisine or a particular community. It's based on ingredients. When you see Daaru-Chakna, it's based on an entire culture, which is India's drinking eating culture. So as I brought the point before, wherein it's completely connected with people, we have to speak to a lot of them too, to actually go forward with the R&D. So that's how they were starkly almost opposites.
So you're mentioning how ingredients are so important to your process and to all of your menus. How do you go about selecting which ingredients to highlight, and what's your process of bringing those to different menus?
With Ekaa we've established the fact that our R&D team always looks at bringing ingredients to light. It could be something as ordinary which you get in your markets, which not many people know of today because a lot of Western vegetables have taken over. Or it could be something that you find in a certain forest or a certain community, or a tribal community eats it in a different state altogether. Ingredients and where they're found and where they're called about are basically, it's a compilation of ingredients from everywhere, but their origins are certainly different. With Bombay Daak it's the same, but luckily this time we have ideas as well. In Ekaa we really had to fuel our imagination, and in Bombay Daak also that's one common factor. But when it comes to the ingredients here, we know somewhere, because they're smaller plates and with not many components around them, to simplify them and to really make them shine in a much more different way, in almost a way wherein they're combined with other ingredients. Whereas in Ekaa, ingredients are really playing the main role. So if a dish is called, supposedly it's called tapioca, then this is tapioca and all the others are only supporting it. Whereas over here, it's a nice medley of all the different ingredients. So I think the process is still the same, wherein we travel around, we garner so much knowledge from all the people we speak about, and we go to so many local markets as well. For example, we went to Nagaland last year. Luckily, because we went to Nagaland last year for something that we wanted to do at Ekaa, that somewhere helped the R&D in Bombay Daak, because we knew certain ingredients that we wanted to highlight here, which we had found in the bars in Nagaland as a chakna, and even in the drinks.
So which dish did that become finally?
Oh, so many, but I think one of them from Nagaland is Nushi, which is basically like a yam leaf paste which is fermented and smoked, and it lends a very umami and a very smoky, rich I think taste to any liquidy curry or a sauce that you add it to. So that we're serving currently at Bombay Daak with a nice lamb brain and some saffron bread.
Especially here, the menu is so heavy with stories. Every dish has a story. How do you feel like the interiors and the little touches that you put on it give an identity to a place and help bring that experience to life?
So I think that's a point that I wanted to highlight before. I think I've forgotten. But what I realized in Ekaa when I said less is more, we've not done too much around for people to see because we want them to focus on the plate. I think the dialogue between the food, the chef and the person over there is really important. But over here, and that is what creates the experience there. But what's really, really important here is the combination of the drinks and the food, and then at the same time, I think everything that goes around with them that makes and builds their experience. From I think the music to I think everything that we put on different shelves, to the kind of plates that people are served the food in, which is these very nostalgic steel plates that people still have at home. My granny used to have steel plates at home in which I would eat, the sukha nashta or snacks in the afternoon with some tea. So I think those things truly, truly matter to people, and they really pick on those things fast because they've actually been through it and they've seen it their entire lives. So it's just a matter of time when people really warm up to the place, and this is the kind of place we want them to really, really warm up to. Not that we don't want an Ekaa, but this is the place where they can spend hours and hours and gradually keep eating and drinking. The dialogue between the food and the drinks is not so direct because people play a very big role over here, and I think the self-realization that the clients have themselves play a very big role.
In your time in Mumbai, how have you seen the dining situation change pre and post pandemic, and up to now, how have you seen the transition go?
So I think in 2020 something is triggered in people wherein they're really looking for a more diverse experience, wherein it comes from a very deep place wherein you missed out on a year of your life, and there's more to life, and plus I think somewhere it's happened so that due to the pandemic, the value of life and the value of how much experience you can gain from everywhere when it comes to fashion, food, travel, that has increased, the desires have increased. So somewhere it's played very well into the food industry because it gives so many people a chance to bring something new and refreshing, which we didn't have before this. And I think people have become so much more accepting, and it's there's such spots wherein it's so much fun to display something new and really ask for their opinion of whether they would like this or not. Plus people are very well traveled, so they know what's happening around the world, and they want those concepts here. And here we have so many talents who can bring them and better concepts here as well. So I think it's the perfect time for anybody in the hospitality industry to really delve out and do something. And I always tell people this in multiple interviews and everywhere, that it's the best time to be a chef in this country right now. I truly believe so, because they're so open and they're truly understanding what chefs do and what they can actually provide on the table. So it's not just food for sustenance, it's food that makes you think, that makes you happy, that makes you feel things, that makes you come back. Because food is a major game changer today, because you need it not just for sustenance, but you need it to really uplift your life in a way wherein you have a bad day and you eat your special bowl of noodles, you're happy. So it can make or break a very, very big part of our lives. So somewhere, because we are the players in that, I think it's the best time for new concepts.
Who would you say are some chefs or some of your contemporaries that both inspire you and also you'd like to, or maybe someone you'd like to work with in the future? Who are some people?
So honestly, very honestly, I think all of them. I can't just name one or a few, because I think in all the little genres and the fields that we are all in, the different cuisines, all the different concepts that each of the chefs are trying to push. They're doing such an integral job, and they're adding so much value to, I think, the culinary landscape of the country, wherein these are the chefs who are going to contribute to the evolution of Indian cuisine. And when I say Indian cuisine, I don't just mean Indian food. I mean everything that happens in the Indian subcontinent is a part of what we are and what we will be in a few years. So it's very difficult to name even one, because I think the people who've done it for the past have paved the way for us, and now I think the baton is to us to actually run and pass it to the future generation. So the chefs of today, they are so immaculately strong when it comes to conceptualizing everything and thinking how this will make a difference and giving the client what they want, and at the same time not breaking your backbone creatively. That I can't just name one. They're all doing a fantastic job today.
Yeah, so you mentioned that there's so many exciting things happening in the city right now, but when you're not busy taking care of your restaurants, where would we find you eating or drinking?
I love eating at home, especially because I think for any chef, if you truly ask them, they crave a home cooked meal, because that's precisely what we don't get because we're so busy. So I will go back to my mother's house and she'll make me like a feast which has fish curry and mutton curry and whatever I desire. And that is one place. Second is you'll find me at home with my cats, maybe painting, listening to songs, dancing. I do that a lot. Crocheting, doing different artistic things, because that's something I truly enjoy. Reading, I love reading. And I think some of the other places that you'll find me is always in search of good Naga food. And not just Naga, I think northeastern food, wherein especially even Manipuri food. I really like it. And I go to this place called Thothrin Cafe, which is in Kalina, and I go there and I seldom order from there whenever I do get time. You'll find me at small spots, like they're almost holes in the walls that many people don't know about.
With Ekaa being such a big success and with people flocking to Bombay Daak now, how are you feeling about your ideas and your way of cooking being so warmly embraced by the city?
Honestly, I think if you ask anybody, and you're asking me, I couldn't be happier. Because before you start any project, even after Ekaa's success, when we were doing Bombay Daak and whether we were doing KMC, there's always a certain sense of fear that you have, whether you could go wrong in anything. Because at the end of the day, just like films, I think the main point of deciding whether it's a success or not is on the client, is on the audience. And the way that they've embraced Bombay Daak, I think it gives me a lot of reassurance in myself as a chef. I won't be lying in telling you that I'm just a very confident person just like that. I think my audience, my clients' energy is extremely infectious to me, and it actually gets to me. And it's very important that they go happy for me. It's very important. Like, I always tell people in Bombay Daak there's just one rule. If you don't like something, we take it back. We keep giving you things till you like it. But I'm humbled and I'm so grateful that people love it so much. And not just me, my entire team, because the kind of love that they've showered us with Ekaa, with Bombay Daak right now, it's just overwhelming. I'm happy, I'm very happy.
Congratulations on the opening, and we hope to see many, many more restaurants from you. And thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.